In a peaceful African village, where the sun kisses the earth with a gentle warmth, lived a young woman named Cynthia. She was the daughter of a humble farmer, but her beauty was anything but humble. Her skin had the rich, golden glow of palm oil, and her eyes, her eyes sparkled with the brilliance of 1,000 stars in a clear night sky. Every soul in the village, young and old, couldn't help but admire her. But as her beauty blossomed, so did her pride. Her reflection became her closest companion. While other girls her age were busy with chores, learning the ways of their mothers, Cynthia would gaze into her mirror for hours. "Look at this face," she would whisper to her own reflection. "There is no one, absolutely no one, more beautiful than me." This mantra became the drumbeat of her life, a rhythm of vanity that drowned out the wisdom of her elders. Her pride was a wall she built around herself. While her mother's hands were rough from tilling the soil and preparing meals, Cynthia's remained soft and idle. "Fetch water from the river?" she'd scoff. "That's work for common hands, not mine." Her friends, one by one, found love and married hardworking farmers, building their homes and their futures. Cynthia would just laugh, a sharp, unkind sound. "Marry a man with dirt under his fingernails? Never, my beauty is destined for a palace. I will marry a king, a great king, and you will all bow to me." The villagers would hear her boasts and simply sigh, shaking their heads. They knew a truth as old as the baobab trees: beauty without a kind heart is like a flower without fragrance. It may catch the eye, but it can never capture the soul. Even her own mirror, it seemed, was growing weary of reflecting the same proud, empty face day after day. One bright morning, the village buzzed with the energy of market day. Cynthia, determined to be the center of all attention, adorned herself in her finest kente cloth and most intricate beads. She walked not with the graceful sway of her peers, but with a stiff, proud strut, her nose held high in the air. Lost in her own self-importance, she didn't see the frail, elderly woman ahead of her, bent under the weight of a large bundle of firewood. Crash. Cynthia bumped right into old Mama Meikle, sending the firewood scattering across the dusty path. Instead of rushing to help, Cynthia shrieked, her voice cutting through the market chatter. "Old woman, look what you've done! You've ruined my dress with your filthy wood." A collective gasp went through the crowd. Disrespecting an elder was a grave offense. Mama Meikle slowly straightened her back. She didn't shout. She didn't cry. She simply lifted her wrinkled hands towards the sky and spoke, her voice low but carrying a power that made the air itself tremble. A curse, powerful and chilling, was cast upon the proud girl. That night, Cynthia couldn't sleep. Mama Meikle's words echoed in her mind, a terrifying loop. "Your beauty, which you hold so dear, will melt away like wax in the sun." She tossed and turned, dismissing it as an old woman's empty threat. But when the first light of dawn streamed into her hut, her world shattered. She caught a glimpse of her reflection in a pot of water and let out a blood-curdling scream. Her smooth skin was now rough and blemished like the bark of a thorny tree. Her long, beautiful hair was gone, leaving her scalp bare. Her full, soft lips were cracked and dry. The curse was real. As she stumbled out of her hut, the villagers who once admired her now pointed and whispered in shock. "The proud girl, she is cursed." In a single night, Cynthia's most prized possession was gone, and her heart, once filled with pride, was now overflowing with a bitter, suffocating shame. The world Cynthia knew had vanished. She became a prisoner in her own home, hiding in the shadows of her small hut. She couldn't bear to see her own monstrous reflection, so she covered her mirror with a thick cloth and refused to step outside into the daylight. The whispers from the village were a constant torment. Her mother, her heart breaking for her child, would weep softly, "Oh, my daughter." This is the heavy price of pride. A desperate longing grew in Cynthia's heart, to find Mama Meikle, to fall at her feet and beg for forgiveness. But it was too late. The old woman had vanished, gone from the village as if she had never been there at all. The girl who once believed she was better than everyone else now felt smaller and more alone than she could have ever imagined. Lost in a darkness of her own making, weeks turned into months. Then, one day, a weary traveler passed through the village. bringing with him a strange message that seemed meant only for Cynthia. He had heard of her plight in a neighboring land and spoke of an ancient prophecy. "The curse that binds you can be broken," he said, his voice grave. "But the path to freedom is a difficult one. You will be free only if you marry the ugliest man on earth, and you must do so with love and truth in your heart." Cynthia's tears flowed freely. Marry the ugliest man on earth? It seemed like a punishment worse than the curse itself. But it was also her only glimmer of hope. From that day on, something inside her began to shift. She started to help her mother with the chores she had once scorned. She spoke to others not with mockery, but with kindness. Slowly, painstakingly, the hard, proud soil of her heart began to soften, like parched earth after a long-awaited rain. One afternoon, a strange figure hobbled into the village. It was a man, so bent and old he seemed to be folding in on himself. His beard was a wild, tangled mess, his teeth were the color of muddy water, and his clothes were little more than torn, filthy rags. He leaned on a crooked staff and announced in a raspy voice, "I have come to marry Cynthia." A wave of cruel laughter rippled through the villagers. How could this wretched creature dare to ask for the hand of anyone, let alone the once beautiful Cynthia? But Cynthia, who had overheard, stepped forward. Her head was bowed, but her voice was clear. "I accept." The wedding was a quiet, simple affair, devoid of any celebration. The villagers watched in disbelief as Cynthia, the girl who dreamed of marrying a king, joined her life with this beggar. On that day, the last remnants of pride left her heart for good. Life with her new husband, whose name was Judas, was a trial. He was not just ugly, his spirit seemed to be ugly too. He was rude, lazy, and demanding. "Woman, cook my food." He would shout, "Wash my feet." At night, his snoring was as loud as the thunder during a storm, keeping Cynthia awake. Every day was a struggle, a test of her newfound resolve. She suffered in silence, but she never let her bitterness show. Instead, she poured her energy into acts of kindness. She worked hard in the fields, she shared her meager food with hungry children, and she offered a helping hand to the elderly and the sick. The villagers who had once mocked her now watched in quiet awe. They saw the profound change in her. Her outward appearance was still cursed, but her actions radiated a beauty they had never seen in her before. And far away, unseen, Mama Mikkel watched, and for the first time, a gentle smile graced her lips. One quiet night, as the moon cast a silvery glow over the sleeping village, Cynthia knelt and prayed. She didn't ask for her beauty back for selfish reasons. She prayed with a pure and humble heart. "Great Spirit," she whispered, "if I am ever to be beautiful again, I vow to stay humble for all my days. I have learned my lesson." As she drifted to sleep, Mama Mikkel appeared to her in a dream. The old woman's face was no longer stern, but kind. "Cynthia," she said, her voice like a soft melody, "your true beauty has already returned? It has returned in your heart." The next morning, Cynthia woke with a sense of peace. As she bent over a basin of water to wash her face, she froze. Staring back at her was not the cursed reflection she had grown used to, but her own face, shining and beautiful once more. The curse was broken. Overjoyed, Cynthia ran to find Judas, but instead of the ugly old man, she found a handsome, well-dressed man standing in his place. He explained that he was a prince from a nearby kingdom, disguised by Mama Mikkel to test her heart. "You didn't marry a prince, Cynthia," he said, taking her hand. "You married an ugly old man, and you showed him nothing but kindness and respect. You have proven yourself." Soon after, a true royal wedding took place. The village erupted in a celebration of drums, dancing, and joyous song. The prince had fallen in love not with her face, but with the incredible beauty of her spirit. And though she was now a queen, Cynthia never forgot the painful, precious lesson she had learned. True beauty, she knew now and forever, doesn't live in a mirror. It lives in a humble and loving heart. Thank you for watching, and if this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.